We have an NHL trade to discuss between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Detroit Red Wings. We'll get into all the details coming up next. So welcome back here to Top Shelf Hockey. We have some breaking news from the NHL. The Tampa Bay Lightning have traded forward, who is also a restricted free agent, Adam Erne, over to the Detroit Red Wings in exchange for a 2020 fourth round selection. Now, Adam Erne is a player who's been in the Lightning organization for some time. He was originally a second round pick back in 2013. Had a pretty strong end to his junior career with the Quebec Ramparts in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Put in plenty of time in the minors, about 3 seasons down there in Syracuse. Built his way up to be getting more and more NHL time, NHL opportunity. In this past year, getting himself into 65 games for Tampa, putting up 20 points. He looked to be becoming a bigger and bigger part of that team, and really, like many felt like he was just kind of getting himself started in the NHL and has a fairly bright future. But of course, the Lightning are facing a bit of a cap crunch here, trying to get top forward Brayden Point, who's also an RFA, under contract for the coming season. Now, here's a quick snapshot of their salary cap situation from capfriendly.com. As you can see, they have about $9.3 million in salary cap space. Point and Erne were the only remaining forwards that were unsigned. So obviously, Brayden Point, as we know, has had some terrific years so far in his young NHL career. He's going to be commanding a fairly significant salary, depending on the term they go with. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to come out with here at the end, but we've seen Tampa have very good success in the past with their top stars, taking some pretty valuable bridge contracts like the Kucherov one, which was the most recent one really that you can cite, which I think was around $4.7 or $4.5 million. So obviously, if he gets something like that, that'll have lots of flexibility. But I'm guessing they might be looking at more of a higher price contract here because they certainly need the space. And now with Erne out of the picture, that only leaves 10 players on their NHL roster right now for the forward position, which includes Brayden Point, which is certainly going to create some opportunity for a few more of their youngsters. They're going to have some more guys coming in on entry-level deals, more likely to fill out the rest of that roster. Obviously, they need contracts that are cheap enough to make everything work from the numbers perspective, but they've got plenty of great prospects. Maybe we'll see some prospects like Kachuk or Taylor Radish or somebody grab a spot out of camp. They still have a veteran NHL player as well, and Corey Conacher has been with the team off and on over the years, playing in their American Hockey League affiliate mostly last year. He's still with them under contract as well, and it's not a big contract, so obviously he could play with them if they decide to go that route too. Either way, the Lightning are making some space here. Adam Erne goes over to Detroit, where obviously the general manager, Steve Yzerman, is very, very familiar with this player. After coming from the Lightning organization, spending many years there, obviously he would have been involved with his drafting, watching him develop, watching him play here over the last few years at the American Hockey League and NHL level. So obviously he'll fit in nicely there with that rebuild that Detroit's got going on. So it's a nice pickup for them. Small price tag, really, a fourth round pick. I thought they might have been able to get a little bit more, but perhaps that's all that was available out there. There's many NHL teams that are pretty set right now on their rosters until they get into training camp to make additional decisions. But obviously Detroit had some space. Yzerman's quite familiar with them and thought he would take them off Tampa's hands. So let me know what you think here. Obviously, Adam Erne goes to Detroit. Do you think he'll be a good fit there and be able to continue on what he was building with Tampa? And what does this mean for the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Brayden Point contract, and their roster? Like I said, with counting Point, that only gives them 10 NHL contracts right now. Which Tampa Bay prospects will be the most likely to grab some roster spots here at a training camp to help fill up that forward group? If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, turning on your notifications so you don't miss any future content. Stay up to date with all the breaking news from around the NHL. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.